There's a couple of key things we must take into consideration when we're looking to get shredded. The main one is creating a negative energy balance. What that means is consuming less food than we're expending. Now, your go-to for creating that negative energy balance should be a caloric deficit or diet rich in macro and micronutrients and a good level of flexibility. You're not going to get any extra brownie points for eating bland chicken, rice or broccoli, nor are you going to get any more shredded. Aside from the deficit, moving about a bit more can help us get shredded as well. That moving about can consist of our NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, steps being the main one. Studies have shown that a 70 kilo individual who does 10,000 steps per day can burn anywhere between 400 to 600 calories. How sick is that? And despite what some weirdos on the Stephen Bartlett podcast will tell you, cardio does help. It's cardio. Elevating your heart rate for a prolonged period of time will indeed help you get shredded, along with improving your mental and physical health. I feel like doing 10,000 steps per day and cardio is the easy part when looking to get shredded. Most people struggle with their nutrition, so allow me to take you through a full day of eating 2,000 calories. I'm currently 13 weeks into my diet, weighing 83 kilos. Now you're probably thinking that's quite a low caloric intake for someone of your size. I am in Ibiza at the moment, and 1 or 2 nights during the week I like to go out for some dinner. That 2,000 calories per day is enough leverage for me to do that while still losing body fat on a weekly basis. If that is confusing for some people, don't worry, just stick to your regular calorie target per day. But someone of my experience, the last 10 or 12 years bodybuilding, I've learned to know my body pretty well. It's now 11:30, I'm gonna eat about 12. I've been fasting for the last 17 hours, which is what I tend to do when I'm dieting. Let's jump into meal number 1. Okay, the time is 12:02. We are breaking the fast with some feta eggs. I'm taking little bits of inspo from the restaurants that I visit here. Passion Caf down there did a really nice feta scrambled egg, spinach rocket, some pumpkin seeds and some tomato, so I took it. The La Bodega down there did a really nice goat's cheese salad with walnuts, added a little bit of jamon and some chicken. So I'm making some notes on my phone when I go out and eat. We have got 60 grams of oats with some dark chocolate, berries and some honey. So I like to try and get in around about 30 grams of protein, 50 to 60 carb and about 15 to 20 grams of fat for my first meal of the day. If you are someone that has or enjoys quite high carbohydrates for breakfast or their pre-workout meal or you notice that spike in energy and then dip, you may want to up your fats to help blunt that spike a little bit. Sometimes we prioritize carbohydrates too much and leave fats really low, which is the right idea. However, sometimes that results in people getting this really large spike and then their energy levels dip, and before the gym they're like, I've had all these carbs but I feel really sluggish. So if you are one of those people, then try to incorporate slightly more fats. We spoke about the importance of nutrition and output, so NEAT and cardio during these dieting phases. And I think we must also understand the importance of respecting training intensity and training to true failure, and not succumbing to the idea that because we're dieting, we just go through the motions when we turn up into the gym. I've certainly seen it with my clients in the past 10 or 12 years. The physiques that train to true failure, that progressively overload in a dieting phase, are night and day different to those that don't. Far more dense. They retain a far larger level of musculature, if not increase their tissue. You know, we must not forget that in the early stages of a dieting block, when food is quite high and output's quite low, there's still very much an ability to gain tissue. It may be suboptimal, but you can still do it. And it gets to a point whereby, as you get deeper into a dieting phase, our minds must switch to muscle retention. And we spoke about this with AJ Morris before on a podcast. You can see, particularly on stage, those that have trained to failure and respected true intensity throughout their whole block, thicker, denser, leaner, grainier physique compared to those that don't, a little more softer. your mindset shouldn't shift either when you are in a dieting block. Strength progression should still be at the forefront of your mind. Sure, we need to inject a little bit of realism into the scenario, in the sense that you aren't going to be as progressive in terms of the amount of strength that you may gain in the gaining phase, whereby food's elevated. But you can't succumb to the idea that just because you are dieting, it means you are going to lose strength. You know, me, Josh, and Joe all equally, even 4, 3, 2, 1 weeks out, were progressing, maybe progressing at a very slow rate. It might be a 1.25 plate here or a rep there, but that's going to take your physique to the next level during these dieting phases. And another thing is not to become too concerned about shifting or changing your training block when you go from a gaining phase to a dieting block. There shouldn't be this sudden switch in volume or reps, or we shouldn't be opting for higher reps just because we're dieting. That isn't the case. I would very much recommend you probably have a little bit of a rejig, maybe change some patterns, but try and keep 85, 90% of the training block the same. It's definitely by far the most enjoyable training block or like period of training I've ever had. I don't know whether it's due to like the fact that I'm not assisted anymore. Been off now since August 2022, so August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So I've been off just under 10 months now, and I feel like there's it's more of a sort of satisfaction, dopamine release when you start to see your physique improve and change without the use of assistance. I'm not saying that anabolics take away from that at all, but I've certainly been in both camps and feel like this block and seeing my physique change has been very, very rewarding indeed. I think I'm going to make a little 2-2 prawn and chorizo dish tonight. A little chili, little tomato, little pasta. Puedo tener 200 gramos. Post-workout, great pull session. Very, very good. I've never been a huge post-workout eater. I'm quite happy with just some form of salad or maybe like a stir fry, whereby I'm really limiting carbohydrates. I prefer my carbohydrates much later on in the evening. So today we just got 225 grams of chicken, got some jamon, we got some salad, tomatoes, some really low calorie balsamic vinegar dressing, and about 30 grams of walnuts. And that will do me until about 7ish. My times have shifted. It moves a little bit later out here, doesn't it, in Spain? I forget. So my routine's a little bit later on. I feel like I'm going to bed later as well, but no drama at all. Look at this island, for God's sake. I haven't been up here before. Why am I going home? What incentive is there for me to go back to London? Tax, cost of living, rent. Oh, mate. Hopefully I'm sick of this island in a couple of weeks, but I can't see it happening. Last, what, you're on 8,000 steps. Last couple thousand steps of the day. It's very easy expenditure out in Ibiza. I mean, I live in a castle, for God's sake. But one point I wanted to make, which I made on Instagram the other day, and quite a few people were like, oh my God, how do I not know this? Why has my coach not told me this? Cardio and steps are different. So if you set yourself 10,000 steps per day, you can't include the steps that you've done. For that seagull was going to hit me then. You can't include the steps that you've done on treadmill or a Stairmaster as an example. So I, on average, when I do like 30, 40 minutes on a Stairmaster, do about 4,000 steps. I don't then look at that and go, I've only got 6K left for the day. I go, I've got 10,000, I've done 4,000 on the Stairmaster. total daily will be about 14,000. The two are completely separate. 10,000 steps, or steps in general, neat, is a very low impact way, low heart rate of getting that expenditure done. Cardio is a bout of exercise where your heart rate is elevated for 30, 40 minutes, however long you're doing, in either zone 2, zone 3, or whatever zone that you are choosing to do. So make sure you are separating the two. Comprende? Good. 2,000 steps, we'll go and cook and then watch McGregor forever. Pasta and chorizo dish. Oof, oofed, oofed, oofed. Lovely. It's what I work hard all day for. I can get through the day on minimal food. A little bit of eggs, a little bit of oats, a little bit of salad. Come in the evening, have a nice shower, sit down, watch some telly, and enjoy some pasta. I'm gonna crack on and eat this now. Macros wise, I feel like I'm feeling good on higher fats. I feel like it's like very Mediterranean. Get out here. I can function quite well on minimal carb. We'll go for the total intake at the end of the day, but we have here 40 grams of chorizo, 200 grams of prawns, we've got 120 grams of pasta, got some garlic, red onions, tomato, and some sauce. Okay, let's eat. Final few macros of the day. I have a terrible sweet tooth, me, so things like protein puddings, yogurts, even making them yourself. So if you've got like a certain flavor of Perform, get some 0% fat Greek yogurt, mix it together, maybe add some blueberries or some fruit, or maybe some dark chocolate, or even save your oats until the evening, do overnight oats, maybe some Biscoff if you've got like the caramel biscuit Perform. But these from Valio are absolutely ridiculous. I've been told they're very similar to the Aldi ones. I'm yet to have the Aldi protein because every time I go in, they're not there. But these help my sweet tooth massively. So if you're ever out in Spain, that is absolutely absurd. They got voted #1 best protein product in all of Spain. I said on Instagram I'll try and get a supply chain to the UK. They are incredible. We'll wrap today up with an insight into my macros: 180 protein, 157 carb, and 66 fat. Just shy of 2,000 calories for today, 1,956, which is what MyFitnessPal has said. I hope you can take something from this. Maybe a few meal ideas if you are struggling, or if you are on similar macros, then give today's diet plan a go. Any further questions? Drop them in the comment section below. I shall see you very soon. Hope you've been enjoying the Ibiza content. I'm certainly having a great time out here. And I don't want to go home. So, see you very soon. Thank you, good night. Much love.